Hi, my name's Dave. I'm an archaeologist. I worked in archaeology for 20 years. So the period of focus that we're looking at today, the 10th century, people would have been living in ringforts like this for hundreds of years, over 1,000 years ago. Most of the clothing in the 10th century would have been made of linen from the flax plant or else from sheep's wool. So, for example, we have a few bits here. The trews or the trousers, they were made of wool, for example. Usually there was an undershirt made of linen, known as a leina. Then there was the female dress. Now the female dress was usually composed of a lower layer made of linen called a serk that would have reached down to the ankles. And then there was a dress worn on top that was called the hanger rock or the hanging dress. And the hanging dress was usually fitted into position with special oval brooches that often had a necklace of beads strung between. When it came to defence in the 10th century, the most common implement used would have been the shield. In those days, shields were round, made of timber, usually lime wood or something light like pine. They were covered in leather on both sides. On the centre, you had a handle that ran the length of the shield that would have, given it some more strength. The timber itself was actually tapered from the centre. It was about a centimetre thick in the centre, but it tapered to around just half that on the edge, which allowed for a great balance when it was held. In the Irish language, there's over 20 words for what we call a spear. So spears are very specialised weapons back in medieval times. It's made of iron. The haft is made of timber. It was a very effective weapon because, of course, you can fight at quite a long distance in comparison to a sword or an axe. The spear was a very practical hunting tool as well that would have been used to hunt boar and deer. One of the most elaborate belt buckles ever found in the 10th century in Ireland is this one here. It's based on a find from Rochford Domain, which is in County Westmeath, and it has this beautiful interlace knotwork on the plate. The plate's made of brass, and the buckle in typical Hiberno-Norse style is in a D shape with a long pin. A lot of these belts in this period of history, and right up till and including the 15th century, often had elaborate strap ends as well to go with them. This one here is a strap end from County Kilkenny, for example, from a place called Dunbell. One of the games that was really popular in early medieval Ireland was a game called Brandúv. And the idea of the game was that if in this case, for example, you're playing white, you were to defend the king and ferry the king and get him to one of the edges of the board. If that happens, the king's side has won the game. The green player, who has twice as many pieces, by the way, to do the job, and he often will need them, is to surround the king on all four sides. And only by surrounding the king on four sides was the king captured. Places like Doonashee, Amenity and Heritage Park act as an interface for the general public to come in and to be welcomed in a relaxed atmosphere, to not to have history rammed down their throats, but to learn it, in a social manner and an organic manner, and they can, buy into whatever they want to, and then it might give rise to future research for that person in one particular aspect of life from the past that they see here. Hopefully that's something you can think about next time you come to visit Doonashee.